I don't think you can just kind of like like just kind of like lollygag around. You have to just go, like you got to be like a savage kind of, like you got to have that like grit to be a filmmaker, I think.
Jake, I've heard you say nobody cares about your idea. Say you'd get these emails and, hey, I've got this great idea and I'm gonna need, 6 figures to make it. And you kind of just said, nobody cares about your idea.
Yeah, that's great, go make it, go make your idea. Everybody's got ideas. I have a ton of ideas. I have people coming to me with ideas. Yeah, I mean, people like want to come to me to get their project made. Like, I'm not gonna make your project. Like, you have to go make it. So that's what I tell people, and like, it's no different than from what I would do. Like, just get the process started. I mean, I love that they're reaching out to me, and I want people to reach out because I'm happy to help. Obviously, I've grown a lot since then. But yeah, I mean, you can't just have an idea. You have to go do something about it. And I think that's the biggest message, is just do something about it. I mean, take $1,000, invest 500, like create a 5-minute short film, and then boom, you got something going. It's not an idea anymore. Put it on YouTube.
And what do you do with the other 500?
500 ideas?
Or no, you said take $1,000, invest 500?
Oh yeah, well,
what do you do with the
if
other?
you don't have, someone don't have $1,000. Maybe just you have 500, maybe you have 1,000. Just.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, so, meaning, if you have $1,000, like, invest that in yourself, It's easy just to email me a big thing and have this big plan, like I'm gonna raise $1 million. It's like, look, I don't wanna put you down, you might get it, but just go create something for 1,000, and if you can make that great, then somebody will give you more. I mean, that's how I started, my first film, we had 3,000 for House Guest Massacre. I don't think it's out, I don't think you can find it. If you wanna see it, just message me, I'll send it to you. It's a private link on YouTube, but yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. We had a child star in it, Alex Vincent from the Chucky movies, and pretty much paid all the money to him. It was $3,000. We shot it on weekends. I think we shot it over the course of 12 or 15 days, and we did it. We had an idea. We want to see what was the process to make a feature film, because we've done short films. All right, so let's go make a feature. How do we do it? So the first guy that was in our short film, he invested $3,000 into this. And obviously, again, all my skills, all my brother's skills, he acted, he ran sound, we bought all the equipment. Yeah, we just started doing it. Like, we didn't message anyone and say, yo, I have this idea. Like, we just went and did it. And I think that's the biggest message, just go do it.
You've also said, I think, don't become emotionally invested in and attached to just one script.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say, I'm an artist in the way of, cinematography and stuff, but still, I don't get attached to one frame or anything like that. I don't get stuck on a light. I move a light, I keep going. So, yeah, I feel like it's good to have different ideas, because you never know. If you have somebody that comes to you and says, yo, I want to do an action movie, but you're just stuck on this one idea, then they're not looking for that. Maybe they're not looking for a horror film. Maybe they're looking for an action film. So now you can kind of make that happen. So I think having a couple slates, couple things in your tool belt to kind of pull out is ideal, because one idea kind of limits you.
And I've heard you say several times today, or maybe even online, about investing in yourself. What does that look like?
So yeah, I think going to conferences, I think paying for courses. I've paid for marketing courses. I paid $1,000 for a marketing course. Just learning, being willing to fly out and meet somebody. There's so many connections, especially if you live in LA. You can just meet with people all the time. People are so down to meet, I've noticed. So I didn't build my career in LA, I built my career in Florida. So, the film scene in Florida, invest in gear if you need it, invest in just becoming better, because I can just make another film because I have the knowledge, because I've kind of learned how to sell, how to market, how to create pitch decks, how to team up with people, how to get people excited. Especially if you have the film, like, you got to get people on board. Like, they got to get stoked about your idea. So if you're not stoked about it, they're not going to be stoked about it. And then it's got to be packaged right. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, you just got to be, that's what you said. You said investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to. And meaning like knowledge, I think too. Knowledge is the biggest thing.
Oh, sorry. So not necessarily like investing in like a new suit or something, but like actual like courses or some kind of like a weekend seminar.
Yeah, because nobody can take that away from you. They can take the gear from you. They can take, anything else away from you, but they can't take what you know. They can't take what I know. If I go have a meeting with somebody, they can't take my knowledge of shaking somebody's hand, looking them in the eyes and being like, hey, and letting them know, like, this is what I have. I have this project. And it's not even so much pitching anymore. I met with a guy in Atlanta, and he was asking me, like, what film, if you could do a film, what would you do? I said, well, I have this skimboarding movie I want to do that I think would be cool. That's probably the film I would do. And he goes, yeah, oh yeah, I like skimboarding. Well, you send me that. And I left it alone and kind of asked him what he was doing. And then he said it again, yeah, make sure you send me that skimboarding idea. So the kind of pitched itself. I didn't have to be like, yo, check out my script. It's very it's almost too much. When you build it, they will come type of thing, I guess, could work. You just got to kind of always keep the ball moving.
Right. Well, you said something interesting in one of your videos on the Jalbert Brothers channel, and it was about you don't always want to take money from just anyone.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially you're getting into business with someone. Do you really want to be tied to them for a long time?
Yeah, I think at first you're willing to just whatever. You're willing to take whatever because you want to get your project made. But at this point, obviously, as you grow, if you get in business with the wrong person, there could be it could be tough, especially if it's for them, if it's all about, well, I just got to make my money back. Well, film is a very risky business. So there's no guarantee that they're going to make their money back. You're going to do everything in your power to try to get them to make their money back. That's the goal, make a great film. I think as the filmmaker, all we have control over is to make the best film we possibly can. I don't think you can guarantee them to get their money back. And I hear people say that, and it's like, I don't know if I would let them invest in my projects. Not that I wouldn't make their money back, but maybe go invest in real estate. You got to be passionate about film if you want to invest in film. And you be passionate about the process. And those are the investors or the people that I want to team up with. So yeah, I don't think at this point I would take money from anybody. My film's growing, my film career is growing. So each project's different. What does it look like for someone to invest $5 million? So that's kind of where I'm at now, $1 million to $5 million. What does that look like? I've seen the other steps, what 20 grand looks like, what $500,000 looks like. What does $5 million look like? Well, that might be different. Maybe they do want their money back at $5 million. So that could be a different conversation. So I think at each level it's different. If you're raising 5, 10 grand, a family, they're willing to help you out. It's different as opposed to the bigger levels. But the goal as a filmmaker, you got to create the best film possible. And we can talk about marketing if you want to. Having a marketing plan is key. I think independent filmmakers will create a project and they won't have no money for marketing. Well, you can put your film on Tubi, on Amazon. It's pretty easy to get those on there, but who's going to watch it? 1,000 friends on Facebook, I guess. But I would put half the money into marketing.
I know we've talked about keeping things sort of loose and free, and I think you said in one of your videos too that I loved, to make a movie from scratch, you have to be willing to go out and do it without knowing what will happen.
Yeah.
And I love that because so much of everybody wants to know that the outcome is guaranteed for things. And with filmmaking, that's pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. Just going. That's you're running into the woods. It's like the primal days, and you got your sword. You're running into the woods. You don't know who you're gonna see a bear. You're gonna see a lion. You don't know. You're just going in blind. You have a job to do. You got to go get food, and that's what it kind of feels like. Okay, we're making a film. I don't know who I'm gonna cast. You can end up getting a big actor. I've worked. I didn't. Our first film, House Guest. I didn't know we were gonna get Alex Vincent. He was a child star at the time. He was a kid, but he was older when we got him. But still, we didn't know that was gonna happen. We posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a writer for a script, and he was a writer.
Oh, wow.
And then he wrote the script. And originally he wasn't gonna act in it, but we got him to write it, and then we kind of pulled his leg to get him to be in it. And that's kind of what we were saying. Like you don't know what's going to happen, where your journey is going to lead you to. You could go do all this work, and then now it's time to distribute it, and then you meet somebody, and maybe it doesn't pay off. Maybe it pays off 5 years from now. So I think it's a long game with filmmaking.
Sure. And again, you have to. I'm going to jump ahead just for a second, but I know in the book that you co-wrote with your brother, I think chapter 4, it was entitled "Be Obsessed."
Be Obsessed. Well, yeah, that Be Obsessed was like, kind of inspired, I guess, by Grant Cardone, studying his stuff. You have to be, especially in this business, you got to be crazy about it. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes. Anything, business, if you're starting a business, if you have a job, you got to be obsessed with it. You got to go after it. Yeah, I haven't read that book in a long time, so it's been a while. Might not even remember what I wrote about, but I think there was 7 steps that we had in that book. But yeah, one of them was being obsessed and just, you gotta be crazy about it. Like, look, we're gonna raise this money, we're gonna make this film, we're gonna make it happen, we're gonna do whatever it takes, and that's kind of what it is. Like, you can't just kind of like lollygag around. And I'll see filmmakers just like, well, I'm doing this, and I'm like, dude, you got no chance. You might as well just not do it. If you're gonna do it, like, be obsessed and like go make it happen, because you have other people that are doing that. So I don't think you can just kind of like like just kind of like lollygag around. You have to just go, like, you got to be like a savage, kind of like, you got to have that like grit to be a filmmaker, I think.